Hi, it's Nicole, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap-up. In August, I pretty much only read comics. I finished 2 out of the 3 of the books that I set aside for the Read More Comics readathon, and that was Paper Girls 1 and Paper Girls 2. And then I started reading Aya, which I really liked, but I haven't finished that because I put it down for a minute and then started another book that I got really into, and so I've been focusing on that book for the rest of this month, and then some other things happened, so I didn't really get to do that much reading. However, the stuff that I have been reading has been really interesting. So with Paper Girls 1 and 2, I didn't really know very much going into it. I just knew that it was a series by Brian K Vaughan, and I really liked Saga, which I am not actually completely up to date on, unfortunately, but I did really like his writing for that. I really loved the character interactions, and you're seeing a lot of that coming through in Paper Girls as well. However, for me, the story didn't really capture me as much as I had hoped it would. I really liked the character interactions. I love the artwork, which is by Chiang, and I wanted really badly to love this series, but it ended up just not quite meeting my expectations, and that's not anything bad about the series itself. I think I'm just not the best candidate as a reader for this, and it's partly because there is time travel in it and there are aliens in it, and while generally speaking I can get on board with aliens, it depends how it's done, and in this it was fine, but the final straw for me was the time travel, which I really hate. I can't stand time travel. It's just a really annoying aspect to a storyline to me. So that, I think, although I really liked the character interactions, just didn't end up doing it for me. And I think that for a series to make me like it and it have time travel in it, it would have to do a lot of work, and it would be asking a lot for a series to have to do that. So again, I don't want to blame the series, I'll just say it's not my thing. But I would also say that I recognize that if you do like time travel, you'd probably like it. As for Aya, I really enjoyed what I have read so far of it, but I haven't finished it yet, and that was just because I got distracted by something else. However, I am going to finish that book in September, and while I'm a little bit sad that I didn't finish all of the comics that I put aside for that week-long readathon because it was completely doable, I also kind of feel happy that the comics readathon actually did what I wanted it to do, which was to get me back into wanting to read again because I was in a bit of a slump, and that's exactly what it did. So I ended up picking up All Over Creation by Ruth Ozeki, and I started it. I'm liking it, but it's also dealing with some things that are just a little bit heavy, and although I find that really interesting and I really love that, I feel like for a first book to get back into after a slump, maybe not quite the time for that, but I think I'll probably pick that up after the book that I'm reading now. And the book that I'm reading now, and I'm maybe about 2/3 of the way through, is Utopia for Realists by Rutger Bregman. And I think you might know him as being the guy who went to that climate change conference thingy and called out the billionaires for all wanting to show their faces at the conference and yet not doing enough to actually help stop climate change, which is completely within their power to have a say on and do a lot more about. I like what I've read so far in this book. It's really good. However, I thought it was going to be a little bit broader than what it actually is, and it deals primarily with economics, and I thought that the discussion of Utopia was going to be more wide than that, and that's still interesting to me, so that's fine, but it's just if you're looking for a book that was a bit more broadly dealing with all sorts of utopias and all sorts of areas of them, although it does touch on lots of different areas outside of just economics, that is its focus. And I think part of the premise of the book as well is that economics kind of does touch on all of these things, and the economic changes that he is proposing would actually make a huge difference in loads of other areas as well, and that's the idea behind that. That's why the focus is just that, I guess. This one is actually a really fast read. It's really easy to read. It's not complicated. Even though economics itself can be a complicated topic, this book is really easy to read, and I think this is actually really good to come right after the comics that I read, which came right after my slump. It's just like a nice progression from not reading anything to reading something that's an easy entry to then reading something else that's a little bit deeper but still easy entry to getting back into the flow of things. So that's been really good for me. And I think I'll probably finish it today or tomorrow, today being the 31st of August. So I think that's it for today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!